What the hell happened to good commentary in pro wrestling? I mean, seriously, what happened to good commentary in pro wrestling? I've been fortunate enough to be a wrestling fan for a long time. And a lot of you have been professional wrestling fans for a long period of time. And in our time, we've been able to experience some great commentary combinations. Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura. Vince McMahon and Jesse the Body Ventura. Vince McMahon with Roddy Piper and Macho Man Randy Savage. Vince with Mr. Perfect. Freaking Gorilla with Bobby the Brain Heenan. Freaking JR with Jerry the King Lawler. Some really good commentary teams over the years. And you know what those commentary teams did is they did manage to make it a more enjoyable viewing experience for us watching on television at home as professional wrestling fans. They brought excitement. They brought passion. They were able to tell the story of what was going on in the ring. They were able to tell the story of other things that were going on and set up other things that were going on throughout the show as they were talking about the action that was going on in the ring. There are so many things that all of those teams that I mentioned used to be able to do and did so damn well. You had the face commentators who got over the baby faces, who also got over the heels and how much of heels they were. You had the heel commentators that got over the heels and emphasized the heels and got the heat on the heels. Sadly, though, today's professional wrestling commentary is a far cry from what we used to get and is a shell of its former self. It's god-awful. You look at TNA, for example. Mike Tenay and Taz. Taz is terrible. He tells unfunny jokes that nobody gets apparently but himself. He butchers wrestlers' names and thinks it's funny when it's not. He forgets what moves are called and thinks that's funny and it's also not. And he just really has no direction. He was somebody at one point in time that I thought was decent, him and Michael Cole on commentary. Something happened to Tazzo. Maybe it's not somebody in his ear all the time. I don't know what the hell it is, but he's god-awful bad. And then Mike Tenay, no energy level, no enthusiasm, no passion. You know, one of the things you're supposed to do to me as a commentator is to sell us on what is going on, to get us hyped up, to get us excited when we need to get excited because you are ultimately a facilitator, a storyteller. And when something big goes on in TNA, Mike Tenay is just like, it's another regular thing, no big deal at all. But yet I bet if the freaking founder, Jeff fucking Jarrett, came back on television, Mike Tenay would find his passion, he would find his enthusiasm, and it's ridiculous. And I think even the TNA bots, the hardcore TNA fans, acknowledge and recognize how much Mike Tenay and Taz suck the enjoyment and the life out of the television product of TNA for the wrestling fan at home. But then you get to the WWE, and this is a company that's had a lot of great commentary teams over the years. Not anymore. Michael Cole, they spent a few years ago all this time, building him up as this heel commentator just to make him a bland, vanilla babyface commentator. Jerry the King Lawler, who used to be one of the wittiest individuals in all of professional wrestling and was a tremendous heel commentator, is now just a go with the flow, I don't really care babyface commentator. I like this, I like that, but I live for getting an erection for 14-year-old girls and John Felix Anthony Cena. And then you've got JBL now, who you would think, because of Michael Cole and King being the watered-down babyfaces, would be the out-and-out heel that would actually do everything he could to get all of the heels over and tell the story that needs to be told to compensate for what these two jabronis over here aren't doing. And sometimes he does, and then sometimes he doesn't. He seems like JBL is more concerned about talking about irreverent and irrelevant wrestling trivia, bringing up the most obscure factoids he could possibly do, doesn't focus on the story of what's going on. It seems like they're too busy lobbing insults and inside jokes at each other to bother to get any heat on the fucking heels that are wrestling and to get anybody behind the baby faces that are wrestling. You look at what happened this week on Raw. They're freaking taking selfies, or in this case, it's a groupie, not just during any like Divas match or something, but you've got your freaking tag team champions going against two former WWE and World Heavyweight champions, a Big Show and Rey Mysterio. And you think that it's more important for you to hawk the WWE app, hawk Twitter, hawk Vine, hawk all this other dumb hot bullshit, and take groupies and selfies and post it on social media for all the world to see and think it's funny. And then talk about the action that's going on in the freaking ring between four very important individuals, four individuals that the crowd actually at home actually gives a fuck about. What happened to the days when the commentators actually told the story, actually described the in-ring action, actually talked about the moves, knew the names of all the damn moves, actually tried to get the baby faces over, actually tried to get the heels over, actually tried to get us as wrestling fans emotionally invested into the fucking storylines and the fucking characters? You see what I've got here? This is emotion. This is passion. It's really not that hard. Even if I'm not that incredibly passionate about something, God damn it, I can pretend and try to be. And when they're sitting there trying to oversell John Cena being the greatest of all time, they focus on all that shit. How about calling the fucking matches? Is it really that hard?